What is the best response when a cop says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Because it'd be really difficult having this conversation while driving. Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for asking. I'm not sure what should be said specifically, but a good rule of thumb is that the seriousness of your response should be directly proportional to the amount of drugs in your vehicle. A family friend who used to be a sheriff always told us only break one law at a time, or always follow the rules with breaking the law. Exactly. For example, whenever I drink and drive, I always make sure to stop texting. I once got pulled over for speeding behind a cop. I told him that I noticed I was behind a police officer and assumed we were traveling at a safe speed. He said, "It's on me this time," and I didn't get a ticket. I always wonder how that would go if you match the speed of a speeding cop. I was lucky to be behind a nice cop. I like the cops in my city. Won't bat an eye for you going 5 over because they all do it too. Been lucky enough to pass by some going 10 over and they still don't care, although I don't do it that often to do it all the time. Just don't drive recklessly and they won't care. And I love highway patrol. 80 all day, no problems. Depends how long you were following me. Lawyer here. I swear to God, if I knew I had 1 week left on this earth and was in a trial, I would do Fletcher's objection. I object, Your Honor. On what grounds? Because it's devastating to my case. This is a true story and I don't get to tell it enough, so I feel like Reddit must hear it. When I was in college, I lived about 1.5 hours from my grandparents' house, so I would try to see them as often as I could. Well, I have your stereotypical Italian grandparents that you are always gaining weight but are also too skinny and must be fed every time you see them. I love it, lol. Well, this one time whatever I ate wasn't sitting well with me and I was gassy as all hell to the point that I had to leave, just so I could have a constant airflow around me in the car. For whatever reason the smell was just lingering and wouldn't go away even with all 4 windows down. No, I didn't shit myself, but I was very concerned about it at the time. Obviously I had bigger problems on my hands and I wasn't paying attention to the speed, and by the time I heard the sirens and checked my odometer I saw I was caught doing 95 in a 65. I was caught dead to rights, nothing I could do about it. Bye-bye license, or so I thought. So as the cop walked up to my car and said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I said as fast as I possibly could. "Because I was doing 95 in a 65 and I am sorry officer, I really am, but my belly hurts, I ate some bad food and I've really gotta poop," and, right at this moment I forced out the most perfect fart for the occasion. It sounded as bad as it smelt. It was so well done that there was a 3-second silence where you can tell the cop was just processing what had just happened. He then makes the best what I can only describe and "That was a raunchy fart" face, and he, "Holy shit man, rest stop 2 miles up the road. Get the hell out of here," to which I happily peeled off and thankfully had a windy ticket-free ride home. No, sir, that is the correct response. Even if you're doing 90 in a 15 with a kilo of coke strapped to the roof. No, sir, they're fishing. And the question is either absurd or condescending, depending on how you look at it. Well, if you don't know, sir. I'm afraid we're both wasting our time. I did that once when a teacher asked me if she knew why she had punished me. Did not make her laugh. This should clear up our little misunderstanding. As I hand them my get-out-of-jail-free card from my wallet. You don't go by Monopoly, man. That game is nuts. Nobody just picks up get-out-of-jail-free cards. Those things cost thousands. YouTube taught me to shout, "Am I being detained?" and to inform the officer that I'm not driving, I'm traveling. My body is a vessel as defined by maritime law. Because the Lord guided you to me so I may save your soul. Have you heard of the Book of Mormon? At least in Germany you should always say no, because otherwise whatever you did was intentionally. If you do it intentionally, the situation gets worse for you. Every rookie that I've had to FTO for the last decade has been told, in no uncertain terms, that that question is the truest sign of a lazy cop. When you pull someone over for speeding, you tell them why you pulled them over, maybe ask why they're speeding, issue the warning, ticket, and get back on the road. If you want to wrangle a confession out of someone, go for detective. We ain't a big enough department to have you on the side of the road for 20 minutes trying to get the geriatric retiree to admit to not signaling a turn 4 miles back. Besides, the old coot has had that blinker on since the 90s. The last time I got pulled over, I was in a small town and he was super nice. He flat out told me that he got me doing 55 in a 45. I was from out of town and told him he was right, that I had missed the speed limit change and that my wife had just warned me. 5 seconds later, I would have been legal had he been sitting there or not. He handed me a warning and told us to have a safe day. I was there maybe 5 minutes. Drew Carey said it best. When it rains really hard, I like to run stop signs just to make cops get out of their cars. Make them stand there in the rain in a big puddle. All right, you know why I stopped you? Yeah, know why I ran the sign? Do you know why I pulled you over? To sell me a ticket to the policeman's ball. We don't have balls, I know. Here it goes. I sped, I followed too closely, I ran a stop sign, I almost hit a Chevy, I sped some more, I failed to yield at a crosswalk, I sped some more, I changed lanes in the intersection, I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light, and speeding. What seems to be the officer problem? Sir, please exit your hands, with your vehicle up. Put your back behind your hands. Stop arresting, resist. Say you don't speak English. In English. I'm sorry officer, but due to a pre-established language barrier, I am unable to understand the sequence of words you have constructed for me because I lack knowledge of the English language. 'Cause you can smell it, holds out box of donuts. I was pulled over once right after getting donuts at the convenience store. I was driving my boyfriend's truck and the cop thought the truck was stolen because of a mix-up at the DMV. I was so scared and tired, I was a new mom at the time, and was trying to convince this officer that I didn't steal the truck. He figured out the whole mess and called the DMV for me to correct the issue. Sweet man. I told him I wished I could have given him something to show my appreciation and he said it was no big deal and left. I forgot I had donuts on the seat next to me. Talk about a missed opportunity. I know I was speeding, but to be fair, my ex-wife married a cop and I thought you were trying to bring her back. Got pulled over once for no apparent reason. Officer says he clocked me doing 70 in a 55. I had cruise control on at 59 and both my car and Google Maps told me I was under 60. I gave him such a, "Are you stupid?" look. I'm not sure how it would have escalated, but at that exact moment my phone started screeching at me about an Amber Alert with a vehicle description similar to what I was driving. Things got cleared up pretty fast after that. "'Cause I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low," I said that to a cop once. "I'm old and white." Cop almost passed out laughing. Then he gave me a ticket anyway. "Because you're looking for more people for your board game night and you thought I looked like a likely candidate? I have Pandemic and Mysterium in my trunk right now. Where is the event being held? Should I bring snacks or sodas or do you think someone else will take care of that? Oh yeah, where is it being held? Where are you going? Come back. I'm so lonely. My dad's friend drove a truck under a bridge that was too low for it and so it got stuck underneath. When the cop came up alongside the window, my dad's friend said, 'Sue, where do you want this bridge delivered?' I'm in the NYPD and we're told to never ask that question. Why? Because maybe I pulled you over for a broken taillight but you know you're wanted for murder in Atlanta so you're ready to fight to the death. Since most cops are killed during car stops, we try to practice better tactics. I got pulled over for telling another driver about a speed camera once. The police officer stood there for 10 minutes saying something along the lines of, 'I know what you did.' You know what you did. What did you do? I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Why did you signal that other driver? The one with a headlight out? He didn't have a headlight out. He did, so I was just telling him. He didn't have a light out. Am I free to leave? Yes, just don't do it again." Do what again? Oh, I have the perfect joke for this. There was a middle-aged guy who bought a brand new Mercedes convertible SLK. He took off down the road, flooring it up to 80 miles per hour and enjoying the wind blowing through what little hair he had left on his head. This is great, he thought, and floored it some more. He looked in his rearview mirror and there was a Florida Highway Patrol trooper behind him, blue lights flashing and siren blasting. I can get away from him with no problem, thought the man as he floored it some more and flew down the road at over 100 miles per hour. Then he thought, what am I doing? I'm too old for this kind of thing, and pulled over to the side of the road and waited for the state trooper to catch up with him. The trooper pulled in behind the Mercedes and walked up to the man. Sir, he said, looking at his watch. My shift ends in 30 minutes and today is Friday the 13th. If you can give me a reason why you were speeding that I've never heard before, I'll let you go. The man looked back at the trooper and said, last week my wife ran off with a state trooper. I thought you were bringing her back. The trooper patted the door, tipped his hat, and stepped away from the car. Have a nice day, he said.